Hello everyone for joining us on the Green Room from Pratidhwani. My name is Agastya. I lead the drama wing at Pratidhwani, and the Green Room, is our series of conversations with our creative community. And today we've got two amazing creative people joining us, Amy Poisson and Maggie Lee. Welcome, both of you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for
Hey,
saying
we're
we're
happy.
amazing.
As a quick intro, Amy is the artistic director of Matcha Theatre Works, and Maggie, you are the associate. No, you're the resident playwright
I am
at
really right.
Matcha.
She
Yeah.
got a promotion.
You.
All right. So how are you guys doing? I haven't, Maggie. I think I've spoken to you once or twice since the pandemic started. But Amy, I can't remember if we've really had a conversation since like March 13th.
Yeah. Oh,
How are you doing? How's
I
life
picked
in
that day on
Oh my gosh,
purpose.
the Rona has sort of taken over our lives. What's been going on since then?
Well, our show got canceled the night before our preview. And
Oh
yeah,
no.
I mean, I don't wish, I know other people dealt with it too. It was horrible. It was very sad. I mean, we worked on the play for almost 2 years, and Jen and Lisa were such everyone were troopers about it. That we were all brokenhearted. Obviously, I don't have to tell anybody in Seattle about or anywhere who had to cancel a show. So we recovered. We kept hoping. We kept the set in the theater until July.
Oh,
We were hopeful. Plus, we weren't really supposed to gather. We weren't supposed to all go in there. And West of Lennon was so lovely and working with us. So then but come July, we had to take it out, and that was really sad and hard. So yeah, we don't think we're going to be producing this year in the traditional way, but we
yeah.
do hope we will be doing the fifth wave, come hell or high water, or coronavirus or smoke. Hope maybe in the fall of 2021. No promises, but
Yeah.
that's where that show ended up. So yeah, I guess I'm fine. Really lucky. I have a home and food and stability, and my kids are both home, so that's kind of nice. It's a little crowded, and then we have a small house here in Ballard, but it's kind of great. My son's doing college from home, and my younger son just started high school, which was a bit of a challenge dealing with figuring out. And if you're a parent, and the Seattle Public School website crashed on the first day, and I mean,
Oh boy.
but listen, everyone's doing the best they can. It's insane. So yeah, so we're just we're doing all right. We're taking
That's great.
care of each other and staying out of the damn smoke.
Isn't that the truth? Maggie, how about you? What's been happening since March?
what's been happening? I've had a few small projects happening theater-wise where I had a play on Zoom with Penguin Productions. And then I have a thing coming up with 18th and Union Radio Theater Project, which is the pandemic plays. So that's a short play that's going to be, I think it's performed live in the theater with a pair of actors who are in a relationship, who live together. So they're together, and then they're filming it at the theater, but I don't know if they're going to have any audience. So at least it'll be like a live theater experience in the theater without audience, but at least not in a living room. So that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
And then, personally, I work from home, so this is not too different for me, but now it's me and my partner Todd, and we're in the apartment all the time and talk about small. I mean, he's not a teenage boy, so at least that's a plus. But yeah, we're keeping, it's like, well, let's move to the bedroom for the afternoon. Well, shall we go to the TV wing for tea?
These are the outings that we're on right now. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly. And then I've been down to visit my parents in California, but we drove. So we did the like I-5.
Yeah.
What I've heard termed called the Mad Max Fury Road I-5 drive down in one day. So I've done that
Oh my.
twice. That's not super fun, but at least we can go see them, so that's pretty good.
I'm glad you're not down there now and you didn't drive down and this.
Yeah. Well, last time we drove down there, we drove through the Central Valley. It was it was burning then, so we drove through smoke. We didn't drive through fire, luckily, but I think Oregon was still okay last time we drove, and now not okay.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
And Amy, have you been able to get out on vacation trips, road trips, whatever? Because you have some epic, historically, not COVID time, but you have some epic road trips in your quiver.
Yeah. If you know me, you know I prefer to either be in a dark theater or outside. That's So yeah, we actually last year, not knowing the apocalypse was coming, we bought some land out on the Olympic Peninsula, and so we had to cancel a lot of trips. I usually go visit my grandmother, who's 91, who's still alive, on the East Coast every summer. And my son turned 21 this summer, and we were all going to Ireland on a family trip. That was, and we had been saving and our money up for, and had this big plan. And so that's, it's a bummer. But so we had his first drink here in Seattle, which was legit his first drink. I know you don't believe me because you know me, but he is a different person. Yeah, so I've done a lot of camping. I have been camping until the smoke. I have since May. I've been out on the land in my camper as much as I possibly can, and that has been a lifesaver having that. Yeah, everyone's invited. There's no toilet yet, though.
It's great. I've been there. It's great.
Yeah, Maggie came to the land. We got some crab.
Yeah, we had crab. I got this.
In the green room about Maggie Lee that nobody knows. Okay, so this is a great story. So our neighbors gave us some crab that they had caught in the canal and had cooked, and it was clean and in shell, and it was a whole bunch. And my husband's not super big on crab, and I was like, damn, I have a whole bag of crab. But I'm in the camper. I didn't have stuff, So I'm like, well, that's okay. I have a hammer and a rusty pair of pliers. And I'm going to go to town with the crab. But Maggie and Todd are coming. And I was like, do you like crab? And she's like, oh, yeah. She gets out of the car. She has a crab kit in her purse, which she says is always there.
I have a crab cracker in my purse.
Crab cracking kit.
So Maggie, there's a story here. Why do you have a crab cracker in your purse all the time?
Maggie.
Well, I got it for free somewhere, and then it looks kind of dangerous. So I was like, if anybody attacks me, I can pull it out and be like, get away from me, right? I'll get it out.
It's the tiniest little hammer. It's
There it is.
there it is. Yeah.
So I was like, I could be oh.
Look she has it right there. We did not plan to talk about this.
No.
That's how handy it is.
They're not going to take it away because it's a crab cracker, right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
How were the crabs?
When you have a crab emergency.
Oh my God. They were amazing, right? It was good crab, right, Maggie?
It was great. I was quiet for at least a good 30 minutes.
She didn't speak. She was face in, shells were flying. It was amazing. Todd wasn't interested. Todd lay there and read his magazine, glanced at us every once in a while. We were like, it was delicious. Local seafood, delicious.
Yeah.
So I heard Maggie say something about in case of a crab emergency. Was this the first one, or have you had other crab? Can we talk about this?
You never know when there's going to be, oh my goodness, I have this crab, but nothing to crack me.
You never know when your crazy friend is going to have a load of crab dumped on her by a neighbor.
Yeah, it's a true statement. You never know when you'll have a crab and you'll go, oh my God, I have nothing to crack it with. But A, that's never happened to me.
Well,
and B, I would be ill-prepared.
When you have to come visit us out on the land, and you never know if you just bring something.
Of crab.
I am sorry to have to segue away from this story to talk about anything else, but let's do that. So I just wanted to catch up personally and see where you guys were, but both of you coincidentally started with where our work lives sort of were impacted first. So let's go back to that. So Matcha had to cancel the show, removed the set in July. It will happen again, I'm sure, at some point in some way. But what's next? So I know you've announced your essentially all digital season. Yeah, Amy, tell us a little about it.
Yeah. So, as every theater maker in town has been trying to figure out what to do, how to do it, when to do it, should we do it, how can we do it safely? Um, it hit me clearly that we were not going to be going back into the theater for real. And we did a digital Zoom reading, which Anna Lee directed, which was fantastic. Seda Iranian Theater Ensemble did some digital performance stuff that was really great. Lots of people are doing great stuff. But for me, I'm such a theater person. I'm truly, I care about theater. And being in a room with people. And I mean, I don't have to tell, I'm sure everyone on here is a theater person and you get it. So I thought about how could we safely be in a theater, even if we don't have audience, and keep a person safe. And so, practically speaking, I was like, well, we could have one person. And so I talked to AJ about, the safety and how we came up with a plan, how we could have one person shows. And then, and I really wanted to do live, even if it's one night, and then we record it. And so that's sort of how it started. And then we went through the process of, well, how long should they be? How do we do it? And so, and Anna Lee, who's the resident director at Matcha, and I were kind of riffing on ideas. And I said, we're always asking, like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get this president? How did this pandemic happen? How did we get to this place we are with racism? And we keep asking these questions. And I was like, well, that's interesting if you zoom in. And Anna has this great analogy that our 17-minute stories are like Google Earth when you zoom in like on someone's porch. And so it's like that plant pot on someone's porch is our 17-minute stories. So I was reading Becoming by Michelle Obama, who, if you know me, you also know I'm a big fangirl of Michelle Obama. And she was talking about Barack Obama's 2004 DNC speech, which if you haven't seen that and you need a little bit of inspiration, just watch it. It's on YouTube, 2004. And she mentioned in the book his speech was 17 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. She doesn't comment on it. She just says that. And I was like, oh, noted. Then she talks about her speech in 2008. Another fantastic speech that you should watch on YouTube if you haven't. And also says that her speech was 17 minutes. Doesn't mention why. I Googled political speeches, 17 minutes. 17 minutes is nothing about it. So I decided some magic Obama thing that I will adopt into my world, and we will have 17-minute stories. That is how it was born.
That's excellent. So now you're going through the process of inviting proposals, projects, auditions. What are you calling it? How's the process working?
Yeah, it's been really fun. So we first, we were hoping we would get, 5 people and make sure we had a group, but we have, I think, over 30 women who are interested in the project. So it has been amazing and so inspiring, and the stories that people want to tell, and how vulnerable and personal and gorgeous the audition tape. We have people send in tapes, like tapes. My God, how old am I? The little movie icons on the thing.
The reel. You have to send the little reel.
That's right.
I got out my reel-to-reel tape machine. And, dear Lord.
I have some floppy disks somewhere here too, but keep going.
Okay, so anyway, they sent in, audition things, and we watched them all, and then we invited everybody to come back. And then over Labor Day weekend, I think we spent we spent probably 20 hours meeting with people for half an hour each and talking to them about who they were and their story. And lots of new people that were new to Matcha, a few people who have just recently moved here just before the pandemic, and they're like, hello, Seattle. And so it's been really amazing. So what we've decided to do, and the board hadn't planned approval for Amy to do as many 17-minute stories as she wanted to. So, but our board is amazing, and they've basically green-lighted 5, and then we'll see how that goes. We'll do the first 5. We're going to do them in waves. Everybody has their own schedule. Like folks that we're meeting with now are like, oh, I can't even do it until June. So we're going to kind of work through it like that. So yeah, we're basically workshopping 28 new plays over the next few months, and Maggie's going to be involved. She's going to help folks with script stuff, and Anna and I are dramaturging and directing, and so we're live streaming from West of Lennox. So actors get to come into a theater. There will be 6 people in the theater at a time, and we have, I'll say it all wrong, but there's this technical stuff. There's 2 cameras. There's a computer with a switcher, and the feeds come in, and then there's a master person. We just hired a director of production to kind of master this, who will run it, and decide which camera feeds come in, and media and sound cues and everything. And then we'll do it live. We have our schedule set up. We're going to have an announcement party on October 10th. Save the date. It is a 17-minute announcement party. 17 minutes total. So you have to show up at 7 and you'll be done at 7:17. Everyone's going to do it from now on. It's going to be fast and furious. And we're going to try to raise some money, to help us do more and more of these 17-minute stories. And then we're going to record them, and we'll archive them, and then we'll have them for a year. We'll monetize them, and then we will then give them back to the artists for them to do what they will with their own piece of work.
Cool. So announcement party on 10/10/20, because that's the date you picked, and a 17-minute thing at 7 o'clock.
I don't know, man. I'm into numbers now. I'm a numerologist now.
There you go. That's awesome.
So you gotta get a new hobby in COVID.
Oh, why not? COVID-19. Too bad it's not 17. Or I guess it's good that it's not 17, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That number did come up, and we rejected it. So that's us.
That's great. So Maggie, let's pick up on the thread about you helping these people with scripts and stuff. So, because I was going to say, what's a resident playwright to do when there are no plays to be written? And I guess they're all new pieces.
I am working on a play that hopefully will be done eventually.
Clearly, she needs a deadline. Where's the chat?
Deadline here also. You know this, Augustia, too, right? Like, if you don't give me a deadline, I'll just wait. I'll just sit on it until the day before it's due, and then I'll be like, woo! And then somehow there's a play. So
I'm putting down a deposit on a theater for you on Monday. Yeah, I'll give you the deadline next week.
Oh, that's great.
There you go. I used to have a poster.
We are workshopping a play of mine that is it's a spin-off of Sheath, so it's in the same universe, but it's a story that takes place later that doesn't have any of the. It might have 1 or 2 characters that are the same, but probably it's a whole new set of characters, and it's just a whole new story. But it's set in that same world. So I'm working on that, and that's been fun because I've kind of let my imagination go on that one, because usually I'm very black box theater, right? And so this one I'm like, okay, so there's mountaintop, and we're gonna have this pulley system, and then people are gonna fly, and then there's a tree and it flowers, and then the flowers fall. It's gonna be this whole thing. And
why not? Yeah.
Right? Because in a way I'm like, I don't know when this is happening or if it's happening or whatever, but let's just do it. And so I know it's gonna be great, whatever we come up with. But it's been a little bit freeing to just sort of not think practically.
But think imaginatively. I mean, and Amy and I, we've had these conversations, right? Because as directors, it's like you have a script like that, and then there are some people like me who go, "What the heck is this? If this is not in a living room, I don't know how to stage this." And then there are people like Amy who go, "Well, we'll put a zip line through Annex Theater and see if we can send some actors down there, right?" So why not?
I know.
That zip line got me my first job with Maggie Lee. So
there you go.
I was very impressed. with it.
Yeah.
With Amy, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a train and it's gonna blow up, and she's like, okay, cool, whatever. So with this one, it's gonna be, I don't know, it'll be interesting. So I'm working on that, and then also I'm going to be sort of doing script advising if people need it. If they don't need it, great. If they do want a little extra eyes, I'm happy to do that. And solo performance is not my forte, but I feel like I could bring something, just sort of like analysis wise. So that's what I'm bringing. And also I want to learn a little too. I think that might be good for me to like learn a little bit about that, because like you guys know this, but like me writing about myself is like the scariest thing ever. So the fact that people are doing it on purpose is like amazing. So I want to like learn from them and like get brave too, maybe eventually. And performing themselves too, like learn, like not even just writing themselves, but performing themselves.
Yeah.
So let me.
Maggie's going to do a 17-minute story next year.
Yeah,
perfect.
Sure.
So I want to pick up on that though, because Maggie, you and I have had these conversations about how much you dislike identity plays, right? So for those people who may be watching or will watch this later who don't know, you and I first started working together in Brookville Players in the sketch world, and this conversation of what is it to be an Asian American artist is a conversation that comes up, and both of us sort of have our shared sense of cynicism about, hey, I am Asian American if I'm doing something that makes the work Asian American. It doesn't have to be about how it feels to be one. So having said that, talk to me about the social justice conversation that's going on right now in our society at large, and also in the theater scene. And what is that doing to your writing process? And then Amy, I want to ask you about what does that mean to Matcha and from a season and planning perspective. But Maggie, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still, I feel like I'm still like still doing my thing, which is that I feel like, yes, it's important to have teachable moments in theater and to use theater to show injustice and to show struggle. But I think it's also equally as important to show joy and fun and creativity. I think that's really important, because I think that gets lost a little bit of like, oh, it's not serious. If it's not serious, then, we're not learning anything. And so why should I watch this Asian American show if it's not going to, make me,
learn something.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm all for learning stuff, but I also think that it's important to show different facets of artists of color, Asian American in particular, because that's me, but like all artists of color. I think it's really important to like, I think a lot of people are like looking to do a lot of Black theater now, and I feel like that's really great, but also I don't want them to forget like, you should have fun shows too. I mean, I think that's really important, because it's like, it could get so like, I mean, people are only going to see this one side of the story, and I feel like it's more well-rounded than that. So that's where I'm coming from. That's my trajectory into the social justice world. I'm sneaking around and like making you have fun, but then you learn something maybe a little bit at the same time.
Yeah, no, a couple of years ago, we at Pratitwani were talking with different producing partners in town about doing some co-pros, and a lot of the suggestions that came were about, how there was this, terrorist attack somewhere, and it turned out that the guy who planted the bomb was not Muslim. And I was like, no, we're not. That's not a happy ending. How is that the play? I don't want to do any play about South Asian community centered around terrorism and violence. Let's do a love story, right? Let's not worry about, because other things are also happening in the world, and we don't need to always think about certain communities and only in those contexts. So I appreciate that. So Amy, what does this mean to Matcha in terms of the moment that we're in right now, and how do you incorporate this or not in the work that's coming up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're predominantly white-run theater company, and of course, we're thinking about it. We're doing personal training, a lot of EDI training. Artistic directors in Seattle have been meeting for months now under the leadership of Miss Jay O'Leary, and really working on how to also properly incorporate people of color into your theater and into your stories. And I'm learning a lot. Some things that some of the reason partly for this 17-minute story in a way is that I'm hearing from a lot of and women is Matcha's mission, so I'm not leaving men out but I am because that's our mission.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
fine.
guys. I'm related there. But when I'm listening and I'm hearing women of color they want opportunity and space. They don't want to take over a white theater company, right? This has been said very clearly and eloquently. They want money to be given to them to tell the stories that they want the way they want them to. So that's part of the 17-minute stories, is that we're inviting all women of color especially, really, really working hard to reach out to women of color and give them an opportunity to tell the story that they want to tell. And the prompt is, how did I get here? And we're being very open and clear with them. This doesn't have to be about anything to do with what is happening right now. It can be esoteric. It can be here. It can be when you were 12. Here it can be now. And so there's a freedom in that I'm really excited. It's terrifying, right? When you pick a play, you know what the play is going to be about. You know the message. You kind of know how your audience is going to feel, and if there's moments that are going to be dicey that you have to talk about and deal with. With this, we're really rolling the dice, but giving women an opportunity to talk about what they want to talk about in the way they want to talk about it, and that's really exciting for I think all of us. And I just want to comment on something that Maggie said about, I've been listening to a lot of Black women talking and listening carefully to what they're asking for. And I think it might have been Janelle Monáe or Ava DuVernay who were talking about Black joy and wanting to hear stories about Black joy, because things are terrible, right? They're terrible, but also that's not all of Black culture, right? It's not. There's joy and beauty and music and song and art and reminding
stories
people.
And
science fiction, exactly.
Adventures and
right. So I'm not looking to do a play that is particularly about the moment in time that we're in right now. I'm looking to give a platform to women to talk about what they want to talk about for themselves. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. So speaking of that creativity and imagination, so it sounds like Sheathed and the world that Maggie created in Sheathed is headed the new the Clockwork trilogy, right?
the New Providence,
the New Providence way of here's a world that Maggie's created, and first comes just one play and then a second and a third. I think it's a good moment to plug the rebroadcast coming up tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Tell us about it.
I thought you were going to plug it.
Yeah, do you want to plug it?
I have the playwright and the director on my screen here. Why do I need to plug it?
Okay, Hand of Talons tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on the computer thing.
Yeah.
It's the third in Maggie's trilogy, but it's a prequel to Clockwork Professor.
Right.
Lots of matcha connections in this play. Well, obviously, because Maggie and me, but also Jen Razumna, who's an artistic associate at Matcha, and Stephanie Kim Bryan, who, for those of you who haven't seen Stephanie on stage, I'm so sorry for you. She lives in Portland now, but she's a Matcha literary manager. She's phenomenal.
Her real name is Tef Tef. Just so you know, it was coined when she was doing Yellow Face back in whatever that was, 2011, I think, and it was Tef Tef.
Say as many nice things as you want about it.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
It's a great cast. Abhijit Rain is in it. Ben Burr.
That's the Pratidwani connection. Boom.
Yes, connection. Tim Gagne is in it.
We brought him in for auditions because he was in your show. It was
Like a Man?
Yes, we thought anything but the paper, and he was the dad who was reading the newspaper, and I thought he was so funny, and he only had like 3 lines at the end. I was like,
he's a delight.
Were worried. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was saying I wish we could see the whole cast after the show. Everyone get on. Don't tell Roger. Just everyone try to get up there. Just kidding, Roger.
He's watching, I'm sure.
So Abhijit Rain was in it. amazing human. Hi, Abhijit. I hope you're watching. You're hilarious. His whole family, beautiful family. I hope you're all doing all right. Hello, hello. Ben Burris is in it, and Tim Gagne. This is funny because this was the first show that I did with Tim, and he was. Well, I guess I have to give it away if I tell this story.
Oh, don't give it away.
Yeah, never mind. In case you haven't seen it.
So maybe this is a story you will share in the talkback after the rebroadcast.
Okay,
tomorrow,
remind me somebody to talk about a certain. I can't even say it.
I don't know what story this is now that I think about it. I don't know what story you're going to tell.
It's a blood connection. Tim knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, but I don't know.
This is the cliffhanger we're going to leave people with so that,
Okay. Wait, who else is in it? I named most of the cast, but not everybody. Who else was in the show? I don't remember what I said.
Kenna Kettrick is in the show.
Kenna? Oh, yes. So
Rico
cool.
Kita is in the show.
Yep. All the great costumes. Yeah. Okay, so that's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
On Porkville Productions page. Yeah.
And then also with Nash, they're doing it on the or it's streaming hub.
Perfect.
Nash. Yeah.
Hey Roger, you should comment right now on this video and drop the link there so people can find it if they're interested.
Yeah.
So what's fun about this show is that they've been showing the shows every 2 weeks. So they did Clockwork and then Tumbleweed in this, and in real life they were like 2 years apart.
Right.
So you kind of like, you don't really remember, but now you can really see like sort of how something that got mentioned earlier becomes something else, and that's totally how I came up with this trilogy. It was not planned. It was not planned this way. I wrote the first one and I was like, I'm really interested in that little side thing that I talked about.
Yeah, that kid who lost his ankle in the machine.
Yeah,
Let's write a play about him. Yeah.
So I wrote about them, and then they're being chased by this mob boss. And I was like, that mob boss sounds pretty cool. I wonder what's her deal. And so this is her deal.
This is Maggie Lee inspiring herself, ladies and gentlemen.
As it should be.
Yes.
So with the Sheet show, it's also a little detail that spun off, which was that they talk about this this monastery of fighting monks, the lightning eels, and I was like, those guys sound kind of cool. So that's what the new play is about.
And they also do laundry.
It was the old play, but it's set in the same universe. Yes.
So I have to figure out how to pull a big laundry basket in a pulley system up a mountain with a human being in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, that sounds, kind of comparable to how you get a human being to come down from an aircraft of some sort into a train. So
fine. Listen, everyone who wants to be in that place, start working out your upper body strength for pulling the rope.
There you go.
And remember, Michael Blum has told Maggie he wants to be in that play again. So you have to, everyone put their request in.
Everybody fight at auditions. Let's see who's left.
And Michael Blum doesn't miss a single opportunity to let everyone know how scared of heights he is and how much joy he had walking down that crawl space.
He really is scared of heights. Bless his heart. He was very brave to do that.
So I'm sure he would love to get lofted up on a rope again. There you go. So hey, we're almost at our time, Mark. Anything from a matcha perspective that you guys want to mention that we haven't touched on? I feel like we talked about the upcoming season and the plays that you're working on.
Yeah, I think that we're hoping next year we're back to doing 3 shows, which we didn't quite get to do this year. I guess I would just love to say to everybody out there, take care of yourselves and keep the faith and self-care as best you can, and we're all here together, and we're going to get through this insane time. And if you need anything, there are people in our community, myself included, that are here to help. So this is not a time to be so independent that you don't have money for food. There are places to go in this community, and I love you all.
Yeah, and please don't let it get that dire where you don't have money for food and you ask for help. It could be a cell phone, it could be rent, it could be anything. It could be, I just want to go get a massage and I could use some help, because self-care is important, and it doesn't have to be life or death before we reach out and help people in the community who need help. On that note, I will put in the slide in this plug as well that Pratidhwani has been trying to do at our small scale, at our level, whatever we can to help not only our partner organizations in town, but also artists directly. And we've been using Langston administered Seattle Artist Relief Fund as the vehicle to
cool.
get help to the artists. And we get donations and we sort of bundle them up and pass them on. We've done a couple of rounds of that. So for those of you watching, if you have the means to help and have an interest in helping, either look up Langston and Seattle Artist Relief Fund, or just go to the Pratidhwani website and make a donation, put in a note there of what this is for, and we'll take care of that. So, and for those of you who need any sort of assistance, I know it can be difficult, to reach out, but do so in the way that is most comfortable to you, please. Maggie, any pearls of wisdom you want to drop on us before we wrap it up?
Pearls of wisdom. I think. So I've been struggling with, I know it sounds like I'm really busy, but I'm actually been hiding a lot and not being creative. And I've been trying to come to terms with that being okay. And I think it's okay. So I know it's I don't know, some people are writing novels and being super making quilts and, being beautiful artists. And I'm I'm going to play this video game I've played 3 times already, and I'm just going to start it over, and that's what I'm going to do. So I think that's okay right now. And it's sort of I feel like I'm coming back to being creative after this 6 months. Has it been 6 months or something?
It has.
Yeah. After 6 months of I feel like I'm sort of coming back into it, but I definitely needed okay time just to be not creative. So I fully encourage anybody out there who feels pressured to make something. You don't have to make stuff all the time unless you want to. That's my pearl.
That's a great
awesome.
Pearl.
Yeah,
is that encouraging? Maybe that's not encouraging. But
Yeah, I think it's great. I think artists have to cocoon. I call it cocooning.
Yeah.
I go camping, but it's cocooning.
But
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Super important.
So as I truly do want to wrap our conversation up on that note, but there's a question that Gurvinder Pal Singh just asked off of you, Amy. He wants to know about the role of cloth behind with the swords. He says it's very cool. What is it?
Hi, Guru. It's a drop from Sheath. It's one of those drops that came down from the ceiling. I was talking earlier before you all came on. Yeah, Parmita's set design was amazing, and they dropped down. I have them all. If anyone wants one, I have 12 in storage. They're beautiful. What?
Auction those off or something.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
You know me and money. I don't whatever. But I think they're beautiful, and I needed a cool backdrop because everyone's got these cool backdrops, and I didn't know how to do the picture thing. Roger Tang's got that picture thing, rocking. I couldn't figure it out, so that's what I did.
Yeah, so here's a non-virtual Zoom background for you, right?
Exactly. It's more theatrical. I'm about theater.
Yeah.
So thanks for the question.
And thanks for watching. All right, folks, thank you so much. Thank you, Maggie and Amy, for joining us on this latest installment of The Green Room with Pratit.